Okay, a very good morning, a good afternoon, and good evening to all on the worldwide DATV Net, hosted by ZS6YI, the Sunday the 19th of January 2025. The year's almost over. Well, the first month's almost down, isn't it? Today, we just want to have a look at the list quickly. We have the following. We've got ZS1 Mike to follow. G8KOE Martin to follow that, and hello to Phil with Gremlins. We all had some this week, I can tell you. Mike 0 Papa India Tango, hello to Peter GW7BZY, and then to Benno. That looks like that cross needle's working, so that's going to be good. And hello Alberto, Echo Alpha 3 Golf November uniform in Spain. That's very nice. I'm sure more stations will come up. I also just want to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to have our amateur satellite on their satellite, and also AMSAT DL, AMSAT DK, and of course the BATC, all different organizations and groups that have made this possible for amateur radio to come onto this wonderful satellite. Yeah, I had a spot of problems with my PC. With all these updates and upgrades, suddenly it was overclocking terribly. So that's been reduced thanks to Romeo, ZS6RB, ZR6RB, I think his call sign is. He sorted everything out and it seems to be working like it should. I think the quality of the picture's okay. Right, but donkey Romeo for your hard work on the computer this week. Right, I want to now hand it to ZS1 Mexico, and we'll just keep an eye on the page to see who joins us. ZS1 Mike, will you please take it, Leon, from ZS6 Yankee India.
Am I there? Oh yes, I am there at last. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody on the net, and also those on the streaming. This is ZS1 Mike from Worcester. Not much to report. I've been very busy, but all sorts of various non-ham like things. Sorting out some GPS engines that I want to incorporate at work, and calibrating some satellite dish stuff to deploy as a portable station at the Frail Care Center for a friend of ours who's had a stroke and he wants to watch the Dutch TV. So I must go. I've got everything set up now, so I can just take it across there and just set it. That satellite is exactly perfectly magnetic north from here. When my compass is absolutely north, that's where the satellite is. It's called NileSat. A lot of programs on it, but the Dutch program BVN is on there, and he would love to watch that. Okay, and apart from that, the organ project has completed. I took a day's leave. Gee whiz, I'm retired, but I have to take a day's leave from work on Friday, and I went through to Somerset West, which is also about 70 miles from here, where I'm here in Worcester. And the two cards that I've made for them, for selecting the registers underneath the organ pipes, I fitted them and cleaned up all the bad connections and stuff. Took some emery paper with, sanded everything nicely, tinned it properly, soldered it properly, and yes, and as I think I showed last time, I fitted thermal fuses onto my new cards, so on the main ballast resistor. So at 192 degrees it'll just switch off the power. If anything funny should happen again, but it shouldn't. The wiring is quite sound now. So this morning at the church service there, after the service, the organist normally goes a bit crazy. He's a real professional organist. he's a lecturer at the university as well, in music. And she just made a little recording there for me just to she said, show your friends how high you had to climb on the ladders to go and work up there. So I sent it through to Gary, and he said he'll play a short insert of that. She just did it with her cell phone, so the audio quality is not fantastic. But anyway, I will go at a later stage. That's my agreement with them. I'll fix the organ, but then I want to pick my own songs, and he must play it for me, and I'll make a professional recording with all my fancy goodies at some stage. They must just have the organ retuned now, you know. It needs a bit of a service. Especially the registers. There was one register that hasn't played for 12 years. So you can imagine how out of tune that one must be. So they're going to have the organ tuned and let me know, and then I'll go through with all my recording equipment and make a nice recording of about 5 or 6 or so songs of my choice. No rock though. It's still in the church. Okay, so I'm not going to stay on long. I'll watch 1 or 2 or so stations, but then I have to run. I can't be late again like last week. So Gary, over to you. ZS6YI for the organ insert from ZS1 Mike. Okay, thanks Gary. Yeah, that came through quite okay. But yes, once I've made the proper recording, then we'll do it again. Hopefully in better audio quality and much better video quality. So okay, Martin, I'm getting with the organ like you with your Netstar or whatever the thing is. Anyway, this is it for now about the organ. They're very happy, and we shall put that one to rest now. So Martin, over to you. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike, saying 73s, but I'll be watching for a little while, but I'm not coming back.
Sorry, Leon, I squashed you a little bit. I thought you were going. There was going to be quick on the mark and come in, but you didn't go when I thought you were going. So yeah, I wasn't going to mention All Star this week. So I was going to mention kill the audio in my earpiece, which is confusing me no end. SRT was all I was going to mention with you this week. No, actually, I was going to start off with usually my contact with Rob VK3, i.e., which he sends me a picture 2 or 3 times a week. So I was going to start with his. Now we had really rotten weather here, so to rub it in, he was going to send me a picture of the sunset. Because normally I'm picking him up first thing. He's accessing my little system on the repeater that I've got, the little SRT repeater. But this is the first picture he sent me. Now, the sunset was interesting, but so are the aerials. I didn't realise he had quite so many aerials. Made me feel quite jealous. So, but he didn't stay on that one for too long. He thought, well, he'd send me another picture. So we go to the next one, and he's got even more bits and pieces in the sky. It's I think it's quite impressive. Yeah, and there's a bit of a ribbon feeder you can see at the top there. So you got some proper stuff up there. Anyway, I know it's always cat pictures that come along. So we then follow on to his next cat picture. So there it is. Seems to be happy. I think that's a great picture. Without a doubt. There's one more. Oh, I think I went too far. Oh, I didn't. I thought I jumped on. Make it bigger. He also sent that one. So sometimes he's actually monitoring or listening or whatever. He stays up long enough. So hi to him if he is. Because I did last, I think it was Monday, said, did you see, I mentioned you on the net, and he said he actually watched it. So you never know. The other thing I've been playing with is get rid of that SRT repeater, which I've been using a laptop to do things, and I wanted to get rid of the laptop, so I've gone for a hardware encoder now, which is this beastie over here. So that does all the work that was being done by the laptop. HDMI in, got a loop through HDMI out. It's got audio in, because I'm putting analog audio in at this time. So the little repeater consists of all the Raspberry Pis feed into this little box that couples it all up together into 4 screens. Then it goes into the encoder box there. It then goes off to the Media MTX server, which is across the other side, which is on another Raspberry Pi. But no laptops in sight. And the thing I liked about the this, go back to the main camera. The thing I liked about the encoder is that it also had a web interface, which we go back to the screen, looks like that, the Zoe Tech or Zoe box. So that's the 4 screens. It's got what you see is what you get. It's live. You can also, at the moment, it's streaming as a repeater, and it's also streaming up to the BATC under a Jet KOE. So it's simultaneously streaming both. The other facility it has is that you can set up on-screen displays, which will do overlays. Now this box over on the right is actually the repeater live. So if we click on the one which is a test card, and I'll stream the test card, that's where the repeater is. We go back to QO-100, which is a little text box at the bottom, just a little icon. These are only test ones that I've put in, or text. You can click on text and just add a bit of text at the top. That's one of the things I liked about the box. It's got various other things that you can see the temperature, etc., of what the unit is running at. You can see the various setup screens, etc., and also as help. So when you click in a little box to think what goes in that little box, it gives you examples of what should go in the box. So that's what I'm using. I'm quite happy with it. And oh yeah, we seem to be left over with a B. I don't know where the B came from. I think it's one of Ed's. I think I'm sure it's one of Ed's. But anyway, playing with, and quite pleased with it so far. It seems to have. This means I don't have to have the laptop because I wanted to use the laptop with something else. Right, that's about a bit. So I don't think there's anything else to add. So Phil, if providing the gremlins are leaving him alone, I'll pass it over to you there, Phil. I'll pop up a test card. It's all yours. Oh, I didn't mention the organ. Great on that. Yeah, they've done really well there, Leon. Superb, and you must be really pleased what you've done. And yeah, at least the camera pictures highlighted where you had to get to and where the organ was, and the number of pipes, etc., were there. That can't have been easy, but anyway, you've managed it. I don't know how you manage all these things. You make it sound so easy, and I know it's not. Having done a few repairs in theatres and things and such like, it's never as easy as you make out. Right, test card, and it's all over to you there, Phil. And also I'm looking forward to Benno with his meter, because I know Phil might be interested in the sensor you're using to monitor things. I kept telling him that you were doing a project, and there was these little sensors. So if you could show him what the sensors are, which I expect you will do, he might be pleased. Right, test card, and it's yours, Phil, from QO-100.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, audio's a bit high. Yeah, that looks probably a bit low now, but anyhow, leave it as it is. Afternoon, evening, morning, all. Leon, yeah, organ, yeah, fantastic work. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Must have been pretty awkward being up there trying to do what you did. Yeah, not very nice at all. And Martin, that box of tricks that you were talking about, put the link up on the chat. Sorry, because I want to have a look at that. Yeah, gremlins. Yeah, for some time, maybe from the very early days when I hit the satellite, there's always been this little issue that appears occasionally, and that is, believe it or not, the output level goes up quite a bit, and I've never really got to the bottom of it. It's not a gradual process, it's almost as if there's a dry joint or something like that, and it happens very quickly when it does, and then it will sort of like disappear again after some period of time.
I think it's temperature related, but it only appears occasionally, and so of course when it happens, you're not in a position with all load of test gear to actually find out where the issue is. By the time you've done that, the issue's gone away. So anyhow, it reappeared, I think it was yesterday. I powered up, and I was on a satellite chatting to Martin, as we often do in the morning, and my level went up, quite a bit. Probably goes up a good 2 dB, if not more. Yesterday afternoon, I've put a directional coupler coming out of the ports down. I'm convinced it's the ports down that's causing the problem. I'm not sure what part of the ports down it is. I just hope it's not the line, but my gut feeling tells me that it is coming from the line, but I still can't rule out my PA outside. I just need to be 100% certain that it's nothing to do with the power side of it. I'm pretty certain it's not, but I just need to be 100% certain. So I've now got this directional coupler monitoring the output of the line, and my ports down is above the fire, and you can see on top of that sort of like mini removable rack, there's my analyzer. So as soon as the output level goes high, I can just go over, turn the analyzer on, and I'll be able to monitor the level. I don't have an RF power meter to hand that I could just use instead. If I did, I would leave it on, but don't really want to leave the analyzer on. I won't be burning the screen, but having seen lots and lots of screens that are burnt, I just don't tend to leave it on for too long. So anyhow, so that's my gremlins. The other thing that I had to do was to replace the battery in my sat-nav, my car sat-nav. It's not a built-in sat-nav. It's a Garmin. It's a separate unit, and the battery died. So that's the old one. So that's now replaced and working. But in order to get the thing apart, I had to buy myself some new spudgers, as they call them. These are prizing tools for opening plastic cases. They only cost a few pounds, but when you need a prizing tool, they're absolutely brilliant. This is the second lot that I got. My first lot, when I looked at them before I did replace the battery, I realised that they were a bit old and a bit worn. So I thought, well, only cost a few quid, so I bought myself some new ones. If you don't have them in your toolkit, I would recommend you do, because when you need something like that, they are absolutely brilliant. And I opened up this this case for the sat-nav, and I didn't do any damage with it. If I'd used a screwdriver or whatever, it would have been damaged, the edge would have been damaged, but these, because a lot of plastic ones in there, did absolutely no damage at all. I opened it up. Okay, so it takes a bit of force to do it, but I opened it up, no damage, and battery placed nice and easy. So they're good. So if you haven't got them in your toolkit, I suggest you do. Let's see that Martin's put the link up on the chat, which is great. I don't think I have much else to say, so I'm going to hand it over to, who's next? Peter, I think. Yeah, BZY, yeah, Peter. So if you're ready then, Peter, I'm going to put up a test card, and then I shall kill it, and it'll be over to you. So let's find a nice
Okay. Let's turn my sound down a bit. On the receiving end here. There we go. Hopefully I've got sound. Sound. Yeah, hopefully it's synchronized. I don't know, because when I synchronize this end, people tell me it's way out, so I don't know if they're pulling my leg or what, but apologise if not. This is GW7BZY, all good and everything, yeah, excellent, excellent. I like the organ, the repair there, Leon, that's fantastic. Hard to play organs. I don't play piano, but there's no sustain on organ. Once you stop pushing the button down, it's deathly silent, so you've got to crack on. There's no stopping. And that's apparently makes it very hard to play. Yeah, good and everything else. I like the hardware encoder there, Martin. I'm going to also look at that link to see what it's about. Because the one I had previously was something tiny, and it died for no particular reason. And subsequently my internet connection via the mains loop has died, and that was fairly new. It was only a few months old. Lost the receipt, of course, and I can't get another one from Curry's. I'll have to buy one somewhere else, I think. Another Curry special. What else am I looking at? You might have noticed I am away from my microphone, but can you still hear me? Yes, you can. Because now what I've done is, because I noticed on some of the recordings on YouTube that when I moved away from the microphone and turned my head exactly like that, the quite directionality of the microphone that comes off the boom tends to lose the sound. So I've engaged the front microphones on the camera now. So you should be able to hear me even when I'm not speaking directly into the microphone. I have turned the gain a little bit down on that, so I should be a little bit lower level, but I'm still hearable. So have I got anything else? No, not really. I'm still playing with DMR radio. No, what's his name's gone. Well, you're also pushing SRT and what have you, Martin, although you've not mentioned it today, fair play. I'm still pushing the DMR. There's nobody on it. I'm on all Wales. GW7BZY, calling this thing through. GB7IA. Nah, there won't be anybody. So there's nobody in the whole of Wales that wants to go back to me, which is fair enough, I suppose. But there we are. That's about this end. So I've got to play my audio to improve the signal. I've also adjusted things in the camera. Things that I'm not bothered telling you about because it wouldn't interest anybody. But hopefully the picture's a little bit better in some respects. I put the skin detection on to give me a bit of artificial makeup, and much needed, I would say, and change some of the parameters, because there's a vast array of menus that do all kinds of things. Most of them don't look like they do anything, but they do, I suppose. Anyway, I've had a fiddle. With that, I'll hand it round. I think it is. I've got actually written down who's next. It's PA3 FAX from GW7BZY with a test card, if I can find it.
Hi guys, let's turn a little bit my audio down. Yeah, fine signals. Well, not so fine. We have very humid weather. The humidity must be very high, and of course, and together with icy weather, we are just around the freezing point. We have very nice trees where we see all the wood, all the branches are covered with some ice cover, which is a beautiful sight. But obviously 2.4 and even worse 10 gig is not very well, it doesn't transport very good, and Peter was just on the threshold for me. Normally I have the beacon on 1.8 meters dish. I have it around 10, 11 dB, no problem. But today it's only 6 or 7, between 6 and 7, and well, actually my signal at the moment is 8, and Peter was just on the threshold on 5, 4.5 to 5, with his FEC causing a little bit problems here, but I could receive everything, no problem. Yeah. Well, yeah. For the Leon, the organ, even my missus came in. He says she's asked me if I now am looking at a gospel show or something, because it was it came out my loudspeakers very well, I should say. But yeah, I think you did a great job, and it just tells me that yeah, a real technician doesn't go out of the way of some new experiences, and yeah, we are capable in converting some old technology and repair it as we should. So yeah, great to help out the ignorance, I would say, the people who don't be able to do that, and that must be the reason why normal service on that is so expensive, but especially on churches. Obviously they don't have any money. Well, they should spend it not on the organs, but on the good deeds they do, I would say. Okay, well, from the Old Star and from the SRT I didn't do much. Actually I did, because I sent out 3 or 4 boards last week to new stations, to new nodes, all here in the Netherlands, and I think that's a good idea. And that also depleted my my stock. I have sufficient parts, but I don't have the PCBs. That means I have to go to work on a new revision 3 board, and I'm still thinking about adding some audio amplification to make a radio less node without any extra boards attached. But yeah, I can also make a separate board. I have no idea what the best idea is there. Anyway, I will probably work on that this week, because I still have like 20 CM119s, and I need to get rid of those as well eventually. So yeah, I think a revision 3 is needed, and will be ordered somewhere probably this week. What I did play on is with these kind of things, which is the ESP32 developer board and a display, and I got in the stuff from Ali with a high speed, I would say, because I ordered it last week, and within a day or 6, 7, I already arrived, and then at that time, normally in Holland these modules cost about 15 euros, and now I had for these two, I paid about 12 euros or something, including shipping. That's ridiculous, but it works. That's a good thing. I must warn people to, if they start playing with that, talk to me, because I had so many pitfalls already with the simple project as that, because this is a version 1.1 and it doesn't work. You need a 1.2, and if you order, you can order either ones, but yeah, if you don't know what you're ordering, you probably get the wrong one. It's usable, but not for this project at the moment, that is. And at the moment, where am I with my project? Well, if I show you this, which is a live demo, which tend to be going wrong, but you can see the needle meter here, and if I switch on my amplifier on 2.4, it does about 20 watts. It tells me 19 watts here and some reflective power at the moment. Well, it's not calibrated yet, but the general idea is working, and I think it's a marvelous job. So it gives you a lot of information, and this is the first start. But to get here, well, I think I have worked at least an hour or 10 of this, because we had all kind of problems with the let me turn off the amplifier. To get here, I found out that the programmer had made use of various old libraries, and if you don't have the right library, you can't get it to work on an Arduino IDE program. Well, I needed to go to the right board level, I needed to go to the right display library, so yeah, it gave me a bit of a headache, but at least I'm now capable in programming this, and I see a lot of opportunities. It is kind of outer ranging, but you have some pitfalls, and one of the pitfalls is obviously the measuring device itself, which is just behind it. If there are two of these boards, which are very cheap on eBay, and well, they work, but if I put about 50 watts on those, it's just normal PCBs. It's not Rexam or something like that, so they get really hot if you put 50 watts on that. So it's useless for high power on 13 centimeters. But the concept, it works, and that's at the moment was my idea. The concept works. What I also needed to do is 3D print something, because obviously in certain case you need to have some kind of cabinet. So I needed to restart my 3D printer, which I haven't used for the last well, maybe year or so, because I had so much problems. So it took me about 5 hours to print these two, which is the bottom and the front, but it gives me a nice small cabinet for this project, and I think this will make at least for now it's usable. But yeah, there's a lot of work will be coming in that. As you see, my PCB is at the moment it's experimental boards, Vero boards. I need to modify that and maybe make some PCB for that. Think about that to add on my PCB or not, or make it flexible, or because someone wants to make it, one guy wants to make it for use for HF, and we tend to use it for 2.4 gig. So many options, and I'm still open for ideas. If someone has ideas there, I know there are, because you guys also have lots and lots of experiences which probably are completely different than mine. Yeah, that's a good idea, Mike. That's an idea. So 50 watts it will burn. Yeah, that's idea. The general idea here, and I think this project will need to have some extra. But I know you guys have lots and lots of ideas. So that's about the project at the moment, as far as I have come so far, which is pretty good for 1 week. But so much other things to do and to find out what kind where we are leaving, where we are heading on. Okay, yeah, I will combine all the information on my one of my Google Drives, and I will make a link here, because the original information is in Dutch, which is good for me. And maybe not so good for you, so I will share some information, and just give me a mail if you want access, preliminary access on my call sign on Yahoo. It will come eventually to my address. Okay, well, anyway, 73s all, because this will be 1 over for me. Microphone on to the next station, and I see it's all about amplifiers, which is great. Alberto, take the frequency, Echo Alpha 3 Golf November uniform, from Papa Alpha number 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray. Do I have a test card? Somewhere along the line I should have a test card. Let's see. Yes, I have. Sorry. That's not a test card. This is the test card. 73's all from PA3 Fox Bravo X-ray.
Okay, audio test. Okay, let me mute this and then I'll continue. Okay. Hello everyone, Alberto, Echo Alpha 3 Golf November uniform from Barcelona. Today we have around 15 degrees outside, overcast. It might rain. Okay. Hi, hello everyone in the net and everyone watching on YouTube or on VOD. This is Alberto again. I wanted to share with you today some experience that I have with the amplifier before I will comment on the previous operators. So hello Gary, hello. I think that the other station from South Africa is already out of the so it's not watching, but hi, your name Leon, hi Leon, hi Martin, Phil, Peter, Benno, hi all. So first of all, Peter, Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee, you had some trouble with the sound, so it sounded okay, but you have some kind of an echo, if I'm not mistaken. Like you had the same input twice on the system, but with one frame of from each other, so it created some effect like an echo. Just my feedback on that. What else? Benno, your project, looks very nice, very interesting to me about the power measurements. I think it's a topic that is really interesting and it's really needed. So we need ways to measure power on the best way that we can. So a lot of luck with that, and thanks for sharing it. As you see, I'm sharing also my power on the amplifier, so it's transmitting around 40 watts, which I think it's a little bit on the high side, but it is what it is. Let me check also the time, so it's 47 minutes. Okay, I don't want to be very long. Okay. I wonder, Benno, if it makes any sense to use directional couplers. So if you want to measure higher powers, but I think it's another way to do things. So you might already have thought about that and consider that measuring directly with a chip is better. But I will also share some power measurements on my amplifier. So it's I think it's really related. So we will see if we can share info with each other. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys some experience that I had with building an HF amplifier for HF around 1.2K. I wanted to have more power on my station. I thought about just buying a used tube amplifier, also looking at a new amplifier, and then why not building one. I decided to build one to share the experience with my friends, to learn things, to investigate, to research, to feel things, and also, which is very important for me, is to share the experience with my friends and with other operators that are next to me. So, for instance, in the way, I have a friend that has a milling machine, so he helped me with some parts. I have a friend who has experience with electronics, with microcontrollers, so he's helped me with some other things, and in the way we are like sharing the experience all together, which I think that is part of the hobby. So to do so, I will I tried to make a presentation, but I don't think that I had the time, and it's so you have to do it so well that I just will share the pictures and talk about some stuff. So I will share my screen. Okay, everything is going good, I think. And so let me go here first. So about my amplifier. So it's a solid state amplifier. Okay, and the diagram looks like this. So we have the LDMOS. Okay, the board is from DAX World Electronics. They are from Greece. I recommend it. So feeding the main board, we have an attenuator before, so we can put in at 100 watts without any problems. After the main board, we have some power sensing, filters, then other power sensing, and then the switch. Okay. We also have a protection switch, a solid state based on some sort of transistor for just controlling that the power supply is working good and we don't have any trouble with the voltage. And we have the power supply, a big power supply that has to be at least twice the power of the amplifier. So we are talking about 1.5K around. So the power supply is 3K. And it's 50 volts working at 53.7 right now. So I think that most of you know a lot of things about amplifiers. It is my first experience, and I hopefully have something to share with you that is interesting and it's at least entertaining. Okay, so first of all, I decided which kind of LDMOS I was going to use. I chose this one, which is capable of 1.8K at 60 volts, and it's made also so it can withstand high SWR. So this is the device with the copper spreader. So first of all, you put a copper heat spreader below the LDMOS, and you have to solder it. So and then you have the DX World electronics board. So as you can see here, we have some problems here. So the LDMOS is not making contact with the board. So I had a friend that helped me to mill this copper spreader and make a little hole. I think it was 0.6 millimeters. So the LDMOS can make a good contact with the board. Okay, just a closer version picture. This is how the amplifier is going to look. Okay, so this is most of the parts put inside the box. I will talk about the box and about the LCD controller after. You can see here the power supply, which is inside the box. Okay, this is my friend and me milling the copper spreader. So as I said, it is important for me to share my experience with my friends. So getting them involved and learning with them along the way is something that is very interesting also. So this is his shop, and this is us making the little hole in the little, I don't know the name, the little hole. Yeah. So after making this modification to the copper spreader, I was just ready to solder the LDMOS to the copper spreader. So using just the regular kitchen appliance. So after just some minutes, I had the LDMOS soldered pretty nicely. Spoiler alert, this was not my first LDMOS. So this is my first LDMOS, but I needed two. So yes, I burned one LDMOS. I think everyone has to burn at least one transistor when building an amplifier. I'm pretty sure about that. So this is how the LDMOS looked when soldered to the copper spreader. So now I'm ready to solder it to the board. So then we had to make some also to drill some holes in the aluminum heat spreader and start fitting it inside the box. This is a very intense job. So a lot of hours are involved in this. So a lot of cabling, adjusting, thinking, and you can imagine, and you probably already know. So I also had to make, I guess you know what this is. So I also had to build a dummy load for 1K or more. So I used just regular resistors inside an oil can. So this way I can make my tests through to this dummy load. Okay, so just more work on the box, and then you have to first of all configure the bias current. Okay, so this is a key moment of my experience. So adjusting this was easy, but then I made an error, so a mistake of trying to increase it without doing the right thing. So I burned the first LDMOS just by touching a hair the bias current. Okay, so this is, for instance, this is the bias current that is being configured. And how did I, this is also something that I want to share. So for configuring the bias current, I used a resistor in series, so a 4.7 ohm resistor, just to protect the whole system. So if in any moment, if anything goes wrong, this resistor has to limit the current, so to probably 5 amperes, so nothing should burn. But when I wanted to change it, I didn't have the resistor, so that's why I burned it. So what else? This is how the amplifier was looking. I will try to move forward. So here, this is my room when working with the amplifier. So this has to be just a regular studio, not an electronic workbench. But this is how an amplifier or a project like this can turn your studio into. So just be aware. Okay, so some parts here. So we have the main board, then the power supply, we have the electronic power switch. So just for if, for instance, the power supply starts putting out some nasty voltage, this will limit and it will cut the so let me check that everything is going okay. So this will just turn off the voltage to the amplifier. We have some power bridges here to measure power going through the filter board and from the filter board, so reflected from the filter board, and also to the antenna and reflected from the antenna. So that means that if I select the wrong filter, for instance, this power bridge will tell me. So hey, be careful that you are getting nasty power back to the amplifier, and it is not going from the antenna but from the filter board. We also have this attenuator. Okay, so everything seems to be going okay. This is some more work. This is the, for instance, a close view from the power selector, from the filter selector to the filter board. And I also built a power sample, an RF sensor, an RF sample sensor, I would say. It has another name, which was giving me minus 30 dBs, pretty flat response, so okay on that. Let me see also, this is a two-tone test to the amplifier to see linearity. So it seems that it's going okay, but then at some power levels you start to see compression. So this is expected to happen, but it is also interesting to see. This is the how the LCD looks like. I will talk about it just in a moment. So I'm already too long. So I think that I will just go through. It is so long. So I also performed the IMD tests to see linearity, to see intermodulation, and let me just real quick share with you. Okay, so this is the amplifier right now. Let me just do one thing like this and like this. No, like this, and I will. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So this I'm talking to the smartphone now. So okay, so this is the filter board. These are the power sensors. Okay, so this is my power meter. I think it's the power meter, so I recommend it. It has this peak hold, so when you transmit, it just the hour just stays still there, so you can see PEP power very nicely. So I'll turn on the amplifier, so you can see the LCD. Yeah, so here, Beno, this is very close to what you are building, right? So this, all the info to feeding this this graph here, this representation comes from the boards, the two boards here. So mainly from that one, I think. So you can measure power and SWR here, but it is very important to calibrate it. So for calibration, you have some. For instance, here I can calibrate it. The way you calibrate it is with 2 points. So I just like it was like if it was straight, very proportional, very non-linear response. But this is what it is. So just 2 points, like low power and high power. And then we also can see the output power, the SWR, the voltage, the DC power, temperatures. Okay, what else? Another vision like this. So just the output power and the SWR. You can change the filters here, or you can just automatically select it. So that is what I wanted to share. After all, okay. Okay, after all my work on this, I think I'm very happy with the amplifier. I think I improved and I changed the way I do HF. So now I can have longer conversations with DX stations. I can break by laps, but that is not what I wanted to achieve. But I can have rack 2 and longer conversations with DX stations that before it was just 599 or whatever, or 59, and that's it. Now I can have real conversations, which is what I wanted to achieve. Okay, that's it from my part. I will now pass the mic to Golf Uniform 6 Echo Florida Bravo, Keith, and I will put a test card, and the floor is yours, Keith.
Golf Uniform 6 Echo Fox Bravo. I'll take it in the meantime. I just have an announcement to make. I got this from Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. And Paul said, "Hi Gary, you guys missed me for a few weeks already. Reason, my father passed away last week. We'll be back soon again. Regards, Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa." Paul, to you and your family, our sincere condolences to you. And we wish your father to rest in peace. Very sad. We understand. And we look forward to seeing you on the net soon again. That's funny. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay. Right. Let's see. Are you back, Keith? A Golf Uniform 6 Echo Fox Bravo ZS6YI. Failing which? To you, Martin. G8 KOE for the final round.
Oh, sorry, Gary. Gremlins here. Yeah, kind of on the wrong frequency. Apologies. Oh, I was one channel down. I was doing some testing earlier, so I got it all horribly wrong there. Oh, it's all now my video's disappearing. Right, okay, I think we're all there. Yeah, sorry to hear your news there, Paul, and condolences there. It's a difficult time. Yeah, Leon, the organ is absolutely superb. I've actually moved one complete pipe organ from one church to another, and I've rebuilt one, going from tracker to electronic action. I can't play organs, but I seem to be able to take them apart and put them back together again. On the front of Gremlins, my Pluto decided it didn't want to work this morning, and it's in a little shed across the garden, a block built shed, where all the amplifiers are, so I've got a short runner coax to the dish, but for some reason this morning it didn't want to work. Brought it in the shack and it's now working fine, so I can only assume it's temperature, because it's been very cold down here in Guernsey, which is unusual. Martin, yeah, well, you've got us all going on All-Star and stuff. Let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, the little box you can see above the radio there with the flashing lights is the little All-Star unit, which we built. Benno, let's go back to the other camera. Benno, if you look up GU1 LRO, Golf Uniform 1 Lima Romeo Oscar, he makes and sells these little units, but everything's on the internet, so you can see how he's done it. This unit has got some audio filtering in it, it's got an onboard audio amplifier, and it's all on a very tiny board, probably about, I don't know, probably about 100mm square or something. It's not very big at all, but it really does work very, very well. Very interested in your meter there, Benno, and I've just looked up the link that Mike put, so thanks for putting that up, Mike. Interested there. I've probably got enough bits kicking around to build one of those. I'm struggling to measure reliably power on the microwave bands, so that would be really, really useful. And that amplifier of yours there, the HF amplifier, that is a superb build. Looks very, very professional, very, very nice. So yeah, enjoy that, and hopefully we'll have a QSO with you there. Okay, let's put it back round to Gary. I won't worry about a test card because I've got music going on that. So let's put it back round to Gary.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Just want to get the receiver going. I also want to just say hi to all the guys on YouTube. So let me just call them up. And it's all the people that normally watch. So hello to Peter Rudolph, DK3 Zulu Fox. Nice to have you on, Peter. Hello to Regina, Delta Golf 5 Fox Mike. Hello to Tobias, Delta Lima 7 Tango Juliet. Hello to Joe, 9 Hotel 1 Golf Tango. And then hi Ishmael, Delta Lima 2 India Echo. And Stephanus, K6NG, Stephanus, or Fani as I know him. He used to work with me in one of my companies. And then Alfredo, how are you, Alfredo? India Kilo 1, Charlie Oscar Alpha, ciao. Nice one. And welcome aboard. Excuse the frog in the throat. Just a quick comment. The gremlins, my goodness, we've had some of that as well, Phil. With my computer, with these updates, somehow the CPU was overclocking, and it got very, very hot. So checked the cooling, everything was fine, and then old Benno ZR6, not Benno, as you were, Romeo, ZR6RB. He had a good look at it and came up with some ideas and got the clocks to not overclock, and he's made it so that it cannot. And that cooled down things quite dramatically, but I'm not 100% happy. It's running at about 70 degrees, 75 degrees, and I need to cool it down a bit more. So I think I'll go onto the milling machine and make a little gadget, little block, put that onto the CPU, and then run it through the chiller that's running my amp. Yeah, Martin, always good, nice signals from you, and always interesting on the D-Star, and also the signals from VK. That's very nice, very clear, very good. Peter, GW7BZY, yeah, outstanding signal. The audio with the two jacks, a slight difference, but at least we can copy everything you say when you turn around. And Benno, yeah, that crossover needle is looking very good, and looks like you and Alberto can compare notes. He's also got one there, as you saw, on the beautiful, beautiful amp he's building. Congratulations, Alberto. A very, very nice topic, subject, and of course project. And I had to chuckle because when you showed your studio that's become your work studio, I laughed because you fall in a trap that we all do. We'll just quickly do this and do that, but it'll stay tidy, and it never does. Never does. So you're walking the right distance. As you have to sometimes pop an LDR or a LD MOSFET, you also have to go through disturbing the studio. But that was quite good. Keith, yeah, nice signal on the end there. I saw you transmitting when I sent it to you. I thought, I wonder if Keith's not down in frequency, which you actually were. So I thought you'd be popping back. All right, with that, I'm going to close the net, but pass it through for another over. And to you, Martin, and we'll say 732 all on frequency. Have a lovely week, and we hopefully see each other next week, this time with some nice projects. Been a very interesting weekend, or shall we say, over today. It's been a very nice, with the organ and the projects, it's been great. G8 KOE, and you wrap up, if you don't mind, Martin. ZA6YI, 732 all.
From G8 KOE. Yeah, okay there, Gary, no problem at all. Yeah, we've got some sound, so that's good. Let's kill the sound in my earpiece. I've got to get yeah, I put the link up to the encoder that I'm using there, and it's capable of 4 streams, 2 SRT and 2 RMTP. RMTP? Oh, anyway. But it's very simple to use. For me, it was needed, so I'm quite happy with it. But I had all sorts of splitters, etc., for the HDMI, and the laptop I was using didn't have a sound input. I wanted the analog sound to go in because I was taking it from the players as analog to mix it after the quad, and so it went on. Anyway, it's worked out for me. I'm very pleased with that. And yeah, that PA, I look at people constructing PAs and I just think, I just haven't got it, not now. I haven't got the facilities here to actually use anything like that. Being stuck in the corner of the lounge, I don't think it would go down terribly well. But interesting to watch or to see what you've been up to there. Very good indeed. And Benno, the speed at which you construct things and the boards, such like, and that, brilliant. And the icing up of aerials reminds me when at the 23/7 repeater used the JVL quad loops, and they were up on top of the race hill in Brighton, and they would, the feed point, which was at the bottom, would ice up. The ice from the freezing sort of fog would drop down, and the signal would just disappear. We'd end up charging up there and just breaking it off. In the end, we mounted the aerials upside down, so it all dribbled down the other way. It also had the advantage that because we've got the loops on it, the birds would perch in between all the different loops, so your signal would go down. So putting it upside down, anyway, that was all good fun and games. But and as a TV engineer, I was used to be in dodgy sort of areas when the sap was running as such in the trees and things, and that the signal would disappear. Then when that all finished, it would come back again. But all good fun. And yeah, that meter looks display looks really good. I shan't be building one though, but it does look good. Right, I'll pass it on to Phil. Good signals from you, and I'll let some through for the moment, and I'll tie up at the end. Round you there, Phil, from G8KOE.
Cheers, Martin. Yeah, yeah, great net as always. Yeah, sorry to hear about Paul's dad, etc. It's a bad time of year. Christmas, just after Christmas. I've got in the next, well, probably 2 weeks, I've got 3 funerals to go to. Yeah, it's just a bad time. Yeah, condolences to your family, Paul, if you're listening. Yeah, Martin, yeah, you're in Coda Box. I don't think I'll be going down that route. Purely because I don't have a use for it, and it's 150 odd quid's worth, and yeah, so yeah, if I was playing around with it like you, SRT etc., then yeah, I probably would, but I'm not, so I'm not going to go down that avenue. Yeah, Benno, yeah, your meter project, very interested in that. Yeah, the coupler. Yeah, you yeah, the wrong type of board. I'm quite lucky. I've been given quite a quantity of ceramic printed circuit board. So I've got quite a bit of that. But I have built in the past semi-rigid coax soldered together to make strip line, and it does work. So that's one area you could certainly look at. Alberto, yeah, what a project. Yeah, very nice too. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and turning it on is always that risk of blowing it up. And a big series resistor there. Yeah, I used to, when I used to build high power amplifiers, audio amplifiers, I used to use filament bulbs, you know, household filament bulbs in the power lines, and yeah, they certainly saved a few output devices from going up in smoke. Yeah, those were the days. And having ice on antennas and stuff like that. Yeah, when I was up at Crowborough in Sussex, which is a wireless telegraphy station, when I was up there, we never really had problems with ice on the antennas, on the big antennas for transmitting. But what we did have big problems with was fog and mist. And considering where we were, it was always misty up there, and if the mist was dense enough, we were pushing out full power, which was nearly a megawatt, of medium wave, it would actually arc out, and you would get the world service coming out of the ether, literally walking around the village. You could hear this sort of Dalek sound of voices, and that was the world service. Yeah, brings back memories. Yeah, brilliant. Best job I've ever had, that was up there. Anyhow, it's another story for another day. Yeah, I think that's enough from me. Peter, yeah, your audio, I guess you've got two microphones running, and they're slightly out of phase, and it produces a very strange, sort of like an echoey sound. Yeah, so I think you need to turn one of your microphones off. I think that's the problem, if you've got two microphones and there's just a slight difference in timing between the two, so one is slightly behind the other. Anyhow, who's next on the list? That's Peter, anyhow, so it's BZY. So right, so I'm going to put up a test card, and then I'll just kill my my signal, and then it'll be over to you then, Peter.
Hopefully. What's going to happen now? Yeah, GW7BZY, hopefully with some audio, just from the one microphone. It was just something to play with. I have a microphone on the camera. It's a stereo version of this, really. Similar idea, but it's got a fox's tail on it, so keep the wind off. But there's no wind in here, so that isn't a problem. It's just that it's about arm's length from my mouth, whereas this one obviously is a lot closer. So even so, that wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, there's bound to be a little bit of description. I just sort of set it to about 41 milliseconds. It seemed okay my end, so I left it to that, but obviously not good enough. So I've turned it down now. What I'll do is I'll connect this microphone into a socket on the back of the camera. And just do it without the mixer. I've forgotten why I put the mixer on. There was a reason initially, but I can't remember what it was now. Just maybe to play with the old mixer. No, I remember why I wanted it. Because I wanted an echo. Now I've done that, and I don't really think it's going to be used very much, but maybe. Anyway, I'll have a look at that for next time. But yeah, great stuff, everybody. Yeah, that amplifier looked really fantastic. What's this guy called? I've written the name down. Yeah, I can't find it now. I've lost it. Alberto. Yeah, fantastic amplifier, nice PA, nice display, and everything. Great stuff. And place very tidy, I'd say. I'd say that compared to mine here, which is a definite rat's nest of extension leads and cables and all sorts. All good. Nobody wants to know about DMR. That's what I want to know. I'm trying to push this same as Martin. And Martin, yeah, good stuff. Liked your encoder, by the way. It's really good. I've got that down. The money's a bit to play with, but yeah, I can see that you've got a good use for it there. So that's a good bit of kit. And of course, it does H.265, doesn't it? But unfortunately, the player, the Pi player, doesn't work for that. But there we are. It'll do. What else? Sorry, Paul, about your loss. Many condolences there. My condolences. Yeah, very sad times indeed. Organ, yes, epic repair. That very good for Leon. Leon, what's it? Jesus. Something of the lead of HFS, but I don't. Anyway, regardless, that's it from here from GW7BZY. Thanks for any kind comments about the picture. Whether anybody notice any different? Where's my on-air sign? This is GW7BZY. Saying good afternoon and catch you maybe next week. With a fade.
Yeah, despite I said I was going to do something else. I want small comments, especially after seeing that very nice amplifier build, Alberto. Yeah, I think we are in a complete different price range. I like building stuff on a simple base, especially and what you programmed there. I wonder on what kind of program you're running that, but it's very fast, a very nice touchscreen based program. I think something commercial comes in line there. At least you know what you're doing. And that build, yeah, that's a nice build of a nice component build, which is nice, and you will have a lot of stuff, a lot of fun with that. I think it's good that people still build those things, and that's also what I'm trying to accomplish here. I found somewhere on a local piece of paper a build, well, a design of this needle, cross needle. I didn't make the program myself, but I think I can adapt it because they are using it for HF. Converting one of those those €5 Monacos meters, and yeah, I am more interested in VHF, UHF, SHF 2.4, and power meeting. Yeah, power meeting itself is obviously not done with this kind of equipment. You need to measure the power always and only on a dummy. But while you are working, so like my transmission at the moment, it's obviously connected to some kind of antenna, and then it becomes a little less normal, less well, you can't monitor your signal great, and this is just something to what I wanted to try. I have some power meters and standing wave meters for even 2.4, but yeah, this is just one of those fun other things. And the idea with the semi-rigids is great. I will look into that. I already found something. I did not find the well, I found the homepage for LRO, but I couldn't find those amplifiers. But yeah, that's not a big problem as well, because you can see so much of those things on eBay, on AliExpress, and schematics is also not a big problem. So I think let's see where we head it. It's just an add-on, or it will go onto the board, or it will be an add-on, and I'm still in doubt of that. And I think before I get anything out of UK, I've paid at least double the price on shipping, because taxes is very difficult between UK. So I like to build those things locally as much as possible and hand them out in my neighborhood. And that's how it should go within Europe. It's all okay. If it goes out of Europe, I've actually sent one to Australia, and that was pretty okay, but I think you will lose a lot of money, well, at least half the money on the project of shipping only, and that's never a good idea. Okay, 73's all. Have a nice week. From PA3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray, off and clear, and passing it on to Alberto, excuse me, from PA3 Fox Bravo X-ray. If I can find my mouse, I have a test card. 73.
Okay. Okay, that was my audio check. Okay. Thank you so much for the net, for the very interesting net. Thank you so much for the comments and for all the info shared. Phil, I also had one friend that told me to use filament bulbs, but I felt that it was harder to do than the resistor, so I ended up using the resistor to limit. I think it's a better approach to use the bulbs. They give you instant feedback, and they fail if you push it too much, or they just limit the current and they never fail. So it's better to use those, but I had like a better, it was easier for me to just to get the resistor. But also, Peter, this is my DMR walkie. I think I needed 3 or 4 hours to understand how to configure it, and I think still have to spend some more time just putting in channels and channels and channels and infinite number of channels and stuff. It's so hard, but it's very interesting. So for me, it's interesting, for instance, to send a message through a PRS when I'm on the summits, on the mountains. So for instance, I'm able to send messages when I don't have cell service, so I can spot myself and do my activity. So that's why I wanted to have a DMR walkie, but I don't have any hotspot close to my home, or I don't have any VHF or UHF antenna on my QTH. So here it's pretty much not very useful. Beno, so my LCD and the control board and all that stuff is like, if it was commercial, so I bought it, I would be very happy to dig into it and configure stuff like the calibration. I would improve the calibration and how the power is printed on screen, so how the power is shown. So I would really spend time there, but I don't think I can. So that's a pity. But yeah, so once I got into the amplifier, I just wanted to have the best I could, and not limit the for instance, to 600 whiskey, or just have one that will stay here forever. So just I wanted to have the best build that I could, and I think that I'm quite happy. So it has still some pretty intense work to do. I have to spend some time, for instance, on the interferences, on the ferrites, and also on the thermal part. So let me just share for those guys that are still here. Let me share some pictures of some thermal measurements, and you will see what I'm talking about. So this is the filter board. This is, I think, on 20 meters, just working for some moments. But look, oh, I don't have the. Look at this. So this is 10 meters when working with probably 1 minute 1K, or less than 1 minute 1K. So I didn't know that, and at one point I could smell the enamel from the filters, so I could smell that something was happening before measuring the temperature. So when I went to measure the temperature, I saw what was happening. So imagine 100 degrees on the toroids. So that is not good. So I will have to add some fans there, because that is not meant to happen. And also, just this is for instance, this is a choke, very just regular choke, and see how the cable gets warm. Those pictures are fine, and these are just pictures from the cables. These cables going through. You see how they get a little bit warm. It is not hot. It's just slightly warm. But you see how the things start to heat up when you use high power. Yeah. So that was it for me too. Thank you all. That was an interesting net. Hopefully I was able to entertain some of you for a while, and I will be here again on the future. So thanks everyone. I will pass the mic and the camera to Keith. Keith, we had a QSO, but it was also on the satellite, but it was on the narrowband part of the satellite. But we had a QSO already. Hopefully we will also have a QSO on HF. One thing that I will share with you in the future is the remote, how do we call it? A station for outdoors, a portable station for the satellite that I want to build, and for that I bought this from QRP Labs, which is an oscillator. This is the GPS and this is the oscillator. So I wanted to build a GPS DO from these parts, and I don't think I will be able to. So the phase noise, I think, is just too high. So this is not working for now, but maybe it will. So this is something that I also wanted to let you know, that using the GPS controlled oscillator from QRP Labs, I'm not still able to, and I think others couldn't achieve it too either, to build a GPS DO from QRP Labs. So now mic to you and camera to you, Keith, for the finals, and 73 to all. Thank you so much for the net, and see you in the future. To all, thank you so much for the net, and see you in the future. So now, mic to you and camera to you, Keith.
嗯 Yeah, okay, Alberto. Where am I still showing a test card? Well, I am this end anyway. Oh, that's better. Just a bit of a lag. Yeah, well, good luck with well, I'm busy trying to get my ports down system all sorted out, and
you're okay this end, Keith from GA.
yeah, there's a selection of boards I've built. Michael recognised that one. That's his power board with the socket on for using test equipment. There's a band selecting module, RF switch. That's a little power sensor board I've built to use with a I've got a NADA directional coupler, so that's just a tiny little power sense board with a thing like a BAT 30 something on it, and that's the start of a 10 meter only amplifier. So we're playing around, and I've just been digging out some of that mic.
Wrong camera.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Oh, right. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, Michael recognised that board. Just been building all the boards up, ready to get my ports down. All going well. And the start of a 10 meter amplifier for DATV. And I've dug out some of that mic, so I'm going to build one of those directional couplers as per the information you've sent. And there's a tiny little sensor board to use with my NADA directional coupler. So try and measure some power. Did a bezel to hold my Pi 7-inch touchscreen, and doing some panel bashing at the moment. And over on the bench, which is highly untidy, is a chassis to put everything in. So it's all starting to come together, albeit very slowly, but yeah, we're having a push on that at the moment. Okay, complete with gremlins. I'm going to pass it around to Gary to tie up the ribbons on the net. So thanks for hosting the net, Gary. Great fun and a lot of interest as normal there. ZS6YI from GU6EFB.
Okay, thanks Keith. Yeah, it's been very interesting. I'm just going to make it short and say net's closed. Whoever wants to continue with fun, go ahead. We'll see you next week. ZS6YI now, QRT. Cheers guys.